Welcome to the deep dive.
Hey there.
So today we're tackling a really big one, something you see everywhere online, right?
Oh, yeah. Passive income.
Exactly. That whole dream, make money while you sleep, quit the day job, total freedom. But is that really the whole story?
Probably not. We're digging into some source material today that, well, it promises to pull back that glossy curtain a bit.
Yeah, The Source is a podcast episode, actually. It's called The Dark Side of Passive Income, What Gurus Don't Tell You.
Sounds promising, like it gets into the unglamorous side, the hidden costs, the stuff they leave out of the sales pitch.
That's the plan. Our mission here is to really pull out the key insights from that source for you. We want to understand what building these things actually involves.
The real effort, the risks.
Exactly.
Okay.
What does money while you sleep look like after you get past all the hype? Everyone talks about the payoff, but what's the real investment? What do you risk? Let's unpack it.
Okay, let's do it. And, one of the first things, the biggest myths the source really goes after is this whole set it and forget it idea.
Yeah, the Holy Grail, right?
Yeah.
Build it once, kick back, and the money just rolls in forever. Sounds amazing. Effortless.
Well, according to this source material, that's pretty much fiction.
Really?
Yeah, they're very clear. In almost every case, even stuff that looks passive, it takes a ton of work up front. And, crucially, ongoing work. Maintenance, management, tweaking things.
Okay, so give me an example.
Yeah.
Like an online course. People always push that as passive. You make it, upload it, done.
That's the pitch, but the source says no? Think about it. Platforms change their algorithms, right? Or the information in your course just gets old, outdated.
Competitors pop up too, I guess.
Exactly. So suddenly you're back in there, updating stuff, answering student questions, doing marketing, maybe even running ads just to keep people signing up.
Huh. So definitely not passive right at the start. It sounds more like you do a massive amount of active work first,
Yeah,
hoping it becomes less active down the road.
precisely. The source actually uses this great phrase for that initial stage, front-loaded active income.
Front-loaded active income. I like that.
You're basically building an asset like any business asset, and that build takes huge effort. The whole set it and forget it thing just ignores all that.
And it ignores the need to keep adapting too.
Right. The online world changes constantly. You got to keep up.
Okay, so that leads to another point the source highlights, which is the income isn't always reliable, is it? That passive tap might just drip or stop.
This is a really critical point they make. Unlike your paycheck, this kind of income can be super volatile.
Volatile how?
Well, think about, say, ad revenue on a blog or YouTube channel. An algorithm changes. Boom, your traffic gets slashed overnight. Your income, too.
Ooh.
Or affiliate income. Maybe the product you promote suddenly isn't popular anymore, or the company changes its commission rates. It tanks.
Yeah, the source mentioned an example, right? Something about affiliate blog posts.
They did. Income going from like $500 one month down to $28 the next.
$28. Wow. How do you even budget with that kind of swing? How do you plan anything?
It's incredibly tough. And that's a major thing. The source really hammers home. They use this analogy like you're building a house on rented land.
Rented land.
Meaning your income often depends on platforms you don't own or control. YouTube, Amazon, Google, whatever. They change the rules. You're vulnerable.
So relying just on one of these streams, especially when it's new, sounds pretty risky.
Very risky. It's why they stress that.
Okay, so huge amount of work up front. Payoff is unpredictable.
Right.
What about actually starting? The hype often makes it sound like, all you need is an idea and a laptop. Zero cost.
Yeah, the source material pushes back hard on that idea.
It does. Oh, yeah.
They basically say there's always a cost. Always. If it's not money, it's a massive amount of your time. And time's money, right?
True.
So even with blogging or affiliate marketing, you're probably paying for like a domain name, web hosting.
Email list service, maybe?
Yeah, email services, maybe keyword tools to figure out what to write about. Those costs add up.
And what about something more involved, like selling physical products, say on Amazon FBA? That seems kind of passive once it's running.
Kinda, maybe. But as the source points out, you need serious cash up front for inventory. Just buying the stuff you want to sell.
Right. And then maybe advertising costs.
Probably need ads to get seen, yeah. Plus handling returns, customer service stuff. You're putting real money on the line before you see any profit.
So it's definitely not just free money lying around waiting for you.
Yeah.
There's actual financial risk and that huge time investment we talked about.
Exactly. And the source adds a pretty sobering point.
Yeah.
Sometimes, even after all that investment of time and money, the return just doesn't come.
Ouch.
Yeah. You can pour in months of effort, hundreds or thousands of dollars, and just end up with nothing. It happens.
Which I guess leads right into another tough truth they mention, the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
The hype feels so instant, doesn't it? Start now, get rich tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But the source suggests that's not how it works. It takes way longer.
Way, way longer. Building a blog that actually makes money. A course people buy. Getting traction on YouTube, it takes serious time.
How much time are we talking, typically, according to them?
They suggest just getting to the point where you break even, just earning back your initial time and money, could easily take 6 to 12 months.
6 months to a year
Yeah.
of doing all that work with unpredictable income, maybe putting money in just to get back to zero. Wow.
Yeah.
That requires incredible patience.
It really does. Especially today, everything's about instant results.
Totally.
The source actually calls it patient money. Not easy money, patient money.
Gets you money. Okay.
And they kind of lament how many people quit after just like 2 or 3 months because they aren't seeing huge growth yet. They don't realize they were maybe just getting started.
Right. They haven't put in the time for it to potentially pay off.
Exactly.
Okay. So beyond the money, the time, the unpredictability,
Mm.
the source also touches on something maybe less obvious, the emotional side of things, the toll it can take.
This part I found really insightful, actually. Because think about it. You're often building this stuff alone,
Right.
in isolation,
Yeah, probably at home.
for months, maybe years, pouring effort in, maybe not seeing results right away, no immediate validation. That can lead to some serious loneliness and self-doubt.
Oh, I can see that. Just constantly questioning, is this even working? Am I wasting my time? Feeling like you're failing in private? That's heavy.
It is, and that isolation is real. It's not like a regular job with colleagues, a boss, some structure. You're the CEO, the marketing department, the intern, all of it.
Doing everything yourself.
And the source even notes, kind of humorously, that trying to explain passive income projects to friends or family, sometimes they just think you're like involved in some weird scheme or just daydreaming.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I can imagine the looks. So not much of a built-in support system often.
Not usually, no.
Okay. But let's say you manage to push through all that. The massive upfront work, the shaky income, the costs, the waiting game, the emotional roller coaster, and you actually succeed. You build something significant. Does it then become effortlessly passive? Smooth sailing?
Well, the source suggests that scaling, actually growing bigger, brings its own set of challenges, and those challenges can pull you right back into active work again.
Wait, how? If it's successful, shouldn't it run itself more?
Not necessarily. Say your YouTube channel explodes in popularity. Great. But now there's pressure, right?
Yeah.
You have to keep putting out content consistently to keep the audience engaged, keep the momentum going.
Okay. Or like an Etsy store goes viral.
Yeah. Suddenly you're drowning in orders to fill, custom emails to answer, managing inventory.
So the very success that you wanted from your passive stream ends up demanding more and more active time and energy just to sustain it.
Precisely. The source points out that when things scale, you often end up needing to hire people or manage operations, commit to a production schedule. Your semi-passive stream can turn into a full-blown active business pretty quickly.
Which isn't necessarily bad, I guess.
Not bad, no. It's just maybe not passive anymore. You might just trade one kind of active work for another, albeit one you own.
Right. Okay. So, wow. We've really peeled back some layers here based on what this source material says. The active work required upfront and ongoing.
The unpredictable income.
The costs, both time and money.
The need for serious patience.
The emotional side, the isolation, the self-doubt.
And even how scaling success can mean more active work.
Yeah. So after laying all that out, the really big question the source tackles is, should you even bother? Should you still pursue passive income?
And interestingly, their answer is yes, a clear yes.
Despite all that.
Yeah, but, and this is a huge but, only if you go in with your eyes wide open. You have to understand these realities we've just talked about. It's not fast, it's not truly passive, especially at first, and there are zero guarantees.
So it's definitely not some magic button you press for instant wealth.
Not even close. The source actually concludes that building these kinds of income streams, it is one of the most powerful ways to build wealth. Potentially. And it's if you treat it like building a real business, meaning dedication, strategy, investing time or money or both, and just plain resilience, sticking with it through the tough spots.
They called it patient money and earned freedom, right? That feels much more grounded than easy money.
Exactly. Much more accurate. And the point of knowing all this dark side stuff, it isn't meant to scare you off.
No.
No, it's meant to empower you. If you know the truth, you can prepare for it. You can build with grit, manage your expectations, and maybe not give up 2 months in.
That makes sense. Prepare for the reality, not the fantasy.
Right.
Well, this deep dive into the source has definitely given us a much more realistic picture
Yeah.
of this whole passive income world.
It really does show how much gets left out of those quick fix narratives you see everywhere.
Totally. It's rarely set it and forget it. Lots of work involved.
Income can be all over the place.
Real costs, real risks. Takes a long time.
It can be emotionally draining.
And even success means more work sometimes.
Yeah, it's a strategy. It takes effort, thinking, patience, dealing with uncertainty. It's not just pushing a button.
Which kind of leaves us with a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on. Considering everything our source material described, the huge upfront effort, the unpredictable money, the time sink, the emotional stuff, how much does building one of these so-called passive income streams actually look like old-fashioned entrepreneurship?
Good question.
Or maybe even just like building a really demanding new job for yourself. Where exactly is that line between work now for future payoff and just creating a different, maybe more flexible but still very active form of labor? Something to think about.